everybody, this is Felicia. Today I am doing a layout from a sketch. I will show you the sketch in a little bit. But first, before I show you the sketch, I wanted to do some embossing. I'm not embossing, I'm sorry. Put some texture paste here on my layout. And I'm using the golden texture paste or modeling paste for the first time, and I actually like it. It is thin and it dries quick, so I really like the way it works. So as you can see, I masked off some portions here of the stencil because there's only certain parts of it that I did not want to be on the layout. And masking off helps because it helps me, and it helps me keep the texture paste when I'm trying to be or trying to use a specific area of the stencil from getting all over the place. So right now I'm going to clean this off because I have too much of the modeling paste on there for me to place it down because I want to do another part of the layout, and so I just kind of cleaned it off there a little bit to get some of the excess stuff off of it. So I'm going to do one more section here with the stencil and the modeling paste, and I'm masking off certain areas because I only want certain um, open spaces exposed. So putting that on, and then here is the finished project. I used some ink there, and it's from the Hero Art, and it was unicorn white ink. And here's the sketch that I'm going to be using. And now here's the photos. So those two photos are of my grandchildren, and that is at their Little League T-ball team. They started a Little League T-ball team in where they live at there, which is in Fresno. And it was the first time they've ever been involved really in any sports. And she was 4 at the time, and is 6. So they're both on different teams, of course, you know. And I have a funny story. So my granddaughter said, I don't know how to play t-ball. How am I supposed to play t-ball? And so this is her talking to her brother, of course, you know, her brother. And then her brother, David, says, all you have to do is keep your eye on the ball. So, of course, later on in the day, she started crying later in the day. And then her mother had asked her, what's wrong? And she says, I want to do t-ball, and David told me to keep my eye on the ball, but I can't see it. Is it supposed to be around here somewhere? So that is just a little bit of how children think. When you tell them something, they literally think that's exactly what you mean sometimes. Oh my goodness, I just thought I'd tell you that little story there. But anyway, so all of these papers, except for the orange cardstock and the black cardstock, is from the Scraptastic I Lived kit. The acetate there with the stars on it is not from the I Lived kit. And those little orange die cuts that I'm putting down, and that little orange acetate that I put down, are from the Heidi Swap ephemera pack. So that pattern paper that you see with the writing on it, that is actually from a Studio Calico 6x6 paper pad. And right now I am going to be cutting, I put that paper down there, but I'm going to be putting this strip down here along the side to break up and give it a little bit more, I say, visual content to it. So, and let's see. So I'm going to glue this doily down. Now I don't want to cover up a whole lot of that texture paste because I put the splotches on it for a reason. I want them to be seen. But if you look closely, you can see that the texture, I keep calling it texture paste, but the modeling paste is taking on the color of the cardstock. My first thought was, wow, is that really doing what I think it's doing? But yes, it did. It took on the color of the cardstock. And I thought that was really interesting because I've never seen anything do that before, quite like that. Now the other white splotches that you see on the upper left-hand corner and down towards the right there in the middle of the circle there, those are ink spots, and I use the My Favorite Things stamp set there. and they're called Artists something. I forgot what that was called, but that is the coolest stamp set. I use that stamp set quite a bit, especially for card making. That's what I mostly used it for when I first got it, but now I use it for mainly just to add some splotches and look like it was done on purpose. I use my Fiskars punch to get that scalloped edge there, and I'm going to be putting it in two different places. One you see there at the base of the circle, and then one you're going to see at the top there underneath that other piece of the black and white pattern paper. Now I'm using my glossy accents to glue down that Today, and that Today came from the Freckled Fawn kit, and that Today is heavy. It's like a piece of metal of some kind, and it has glitter on top of it, which I thought was pretty cool. There's three of them that came in the embellishment kit, the Freckled Fawn embellishment kit. That arrow that says Note, the wood veneer arrow there, that is also from the Freckled Fawn kit. And I'm peeling off right now. You see me, I did that pretty quick, but I was peeling off the little film protector for that acetate, and I'm doing it for that one too. Like I said, those two pieces or the die cuts there came from out of the Heidi Swap ephemera pack that I had just opened. I've never used anything in it until about now. So there I am putting the rest of that scalloped edge there at the top. Kind of get it just so, because I want it to be a little shorter than that pattern paper there. And that rad wood veneer arrow is also from the Freckled Fawn kit as well. So I have a combination of Scraptastic goods and Freckled Fawn goods and Heidi Swap. So, but the thing about this layout is that I intended on using as much as I possibly can of the die cut pack that came with the kit, but I couldn't find too many things to go with these colors, and so it's like, no. But I eventually got it figured out there. So what I'm doing right here is I'm adding a little interest to this plain white piece of paper. I didn't want to put that down there, and that's going to be my journaling spot. And I thought, you know what? Since I have a circle at the top, let me go ahead and just put a little bit of a circle there. So what I did was I kind of took one of the daubers there that I have for the finger and put that circle over it and just went over it. And I wanted my lines a little darker, so I know it looks pretty dark there, and I'm using the 08 Project Life journaling pen there. And see how that looks? That looks pretty cool. I like that look. So I'm going to do that again on some layouts here in the future. I thought that would be a cool look there. So now I'm journaling here, and the journaling says David and Faith posing in their T-ball uniforms. Faith, as usual, does her girly pose. Oh, that's it. That's right. She is doing her girly pose instead of holding her bat with two hands. Her brother is posing the right way, the way the photographer wanted them to pose, but she decided to get real fancy and diva. I guess my daughter says she acts like a diva sometimes, but sometimes she does. So I'm doing the same thing here with this piece of paper because I'm going to put it up there at the top to ground my title, and I thought add some more interest to it by taking a dauber and kind of just laying it down there on the top, and I got these little perfect circles there, which is pretty good. I like that. The ink that I used, I forgot what it was, and I apologize, but it is a Hero Arts ink. So it's, gee, I can't remember what it was, but I'll remember one of these days. So there you see me using my T ruler to make sure that I get the title on straight, because I had said in a couple videos or so back there that I was always putting my title on crooked, and it was just annoying me. I think it was my last video I said that, and I just wanted to get it on straight for once, so I finally did this time. And that's all I needed, was to do it for that top part of the title. The rest is going to be lined up just fine because of that edge there of the paper that the title is sitting on, so it'll work. and getting that on there. And I don't need to add any um, quick dry on there. But what happens is you're going to see me fooling around here with the E at the end was some of it just tore off. And I'm like, oh man. So then I just glued it back together, and then I had to put glue on the bottom of the E. See, I'm messing with it right now. I meant to cut this section out, but sorry about that. So see me fooling around trying to get it to stick and everything back in place, but it worked finally. So now I got that down, and I am going to be, let's see, what am I going to be doing next here? Oh, adding some little bit, a few more embellishments. That little wood with the enamel heart in the middle of it, that came from the Freckled Fawn kit. I hear there. I thought I was gonna put some enamel dots on it, but I changed my mind. You can see me trying to. Should I go ahead and do? No, should I? So I didn't. And then I pointed to the top as if to say, "Oh, I need something up there." Of course, right where under the little league, and I'm putting the an arrow, a wood veneer arrow from my stash up there. So I got that on there, and it's looking pretty good. This layout was a little bit more, it took me a little longer than I expected, so I kind of cut a few things out of it, like the cutting of the black ring, the circle there, and a few other things, because otherwise it would have been like an hour and a half video, honestly. So I used some of the Studio Calico White, Mr. Huey's, and it is all done. So there you have it, you guys, and see, if you look closely, see how it takes on the orange of the layout. It looks pretty cool. I actually liked how this turned out. So I want to thank you guys for watching and look forward to some more videos, and take care. Bye.